Is Dark Beast the next month-long milestone character? Nakia Event is coming up. Is it going to be as bad as most people were suspecting? And we got new villain hard node campaigns in Marvel Strike Force right now. How much of a help is this for players? We're talking about all of these things and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I am joined by my brother, GoofyRhexxi. And if you're ready for it, GoofyRhexxi, tell him what to do, my brother.
Let's go smash it!
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Club. Welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin. I hope you're having a great day. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button for more great Marvel Strike Force content. We got a lot to discuss, a lot that has happened over the past week, all on this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. Joining me after a long hiatus is my brother, GoofyRhexxi. How are you, Goofy?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to be back on the channel doing a news video. Man, it's been a long time. Now, I know we did something last week.
It's been months. It's been months, my friend.
It could potentially be a year. Let's not really go back and calculate the numbers. It's embarrassing enough.
Well, you know, coincidentally, the holidays are coming up, and we know what one of my favorite Christmas movies are. I want to ask you, we got Thanksgiving coming up. What is your favorite Thanksgiving movie? If there's even a Thanksgiving movie that even pops into your head, because there's like two that pop into my head right now.
Yeah, like now that you talk about it, like Thanksgiving movies, I don't really put a lot of thought into it. Even though for me, like when it comes to Thanksgiving, I think about like Christmas movies. So usually like Home Alone is a thing that I like to watch around Thanksgiving and Christmas. So I'm gonna go back to Home Alone again.
All right, yeah. So the two that pop into my head: Planes, Trains, Automobiles. I think that is a Thanksgiving movie. Okay. And then the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. I can't think of any others though, other than that, other than starting your Christmas movies early. Now, how is before we get into all the Marvel Strike Force stuff, I just want to ask you one more question. How is the new baby treating you? Are you getting enough sleep, my friend?
Yeah, new baby is doing pretty good. I'm getting okay sleep. My wife is probably feeling the brunt of it. I am feeling physical exhaustion though, from dealing with the older kids though, because that's basically I told her, I said, listen, boo boo, you take care of the baby. I got everything else. So I've been doing the dropping offs and picking up and making the lunches and the breakfast and the dinner.
Everything.
Man, I'm living. I'm telling you, I feel like a house husband now. That's the situation.
Right. Well, hey, there are worse things than that. You know, you raising your kids, all good stuff. Now,
yeah, for sure.
Now, all that is good. That's probably more important than MSF. But let's get into the MSF stuff.
Yeah,
the villain hard nodes campaigns. We got this in the game last night. We got new characters that are not farmable. Cersei, after so long, and then some other characters that were previously farmable. Cloak, Sharon Carter. We have Kitty Pryde there. We got Catalyst, and of course, from the War Store is Bishop. Now, I guess one of the concerns of Reddit, not to me, is that there's a lack of story in this new hard node campaigns. I don't think I've ever read any of the story in Marvel Strike Force. I have no idea what is going on in the story, so this bothers me zero. Yeah. Does this bother you at all, or is there other things that we should be considering with this?
Yeah, so I don't mind the lack of story. That's not really a big issue to me. I think when I look at the hard campaigns and the fact that they're making some of these characters farmable, by the way, when I look at some of these characters like Sharon Carter and Kitty Pryde and Cloak and whatever, like I look at those characters as placeholders for future characters that will become farmable later on, right? That's more what's important to me, is characters actually becoming farmable in Marvel Strike Force. And it's been so long. These nodes are long overdue in my opinion. So hey, I don't really care much about the storyline. I just care about the fact that we're actually getting places where characters can now be farmable. Hopefully it's because their farmability issue, right?
That's my take on it as well. You know, this is a hero collector game, not a enjoy the story game. So, you know, while the story is cool for a lot of players, and that is a thing that is appealing for a lot of players, for me, it's all about collecting. It's all about these nodes and all that stuff. Now, You talked about more characters becoming farmable, and these are placeholders probably in heroes, villains. Now we also need a Nexus, a Cosmic, a Mystic. Do you think these are coming? And if so, when? Will it be during this hiatus that they normally go on? The devs of Scopley, they normally go on hiatus during the ending part of November, all of December pretty much, and then most of January. So do you think we're gonna get more campaigns during this hiatus? We're gonna have to wait for them to get back and actually do some work. When do you think it's coming? And what would be coming if we're getting something?
Yeah, so I doubt it, honestly. I mean, look how long it took for them to do this. I don't, my confidence level is not high. Now, of course, it's my desire and hope that they bring in some additional campaign nodes, because we definitely do need it. There's a ton of characters that are not farmable. There's a lot of unlimited X-Men characters. There's a lot of characters on the Gamma is a little bit newer, right? But Darkhold, now we actually have a couple of characters farmable, but Agatha's still not farmable, right? We got some Bionic Avengers characters. There's A-Force characters. So there's a lot of characters that still need to be farmable. So it would be my desire and hope, I think all of us, to be able to get some more additional nodes. But being how long they've taken to come up with this, I just can't feel confident that they're going to do it. But I will say, maybe we need to just tell them, hey, this has actually been well received. We actually have more nodes farmable now. You should continue to do this for your Cosmic and your other nodes as well, so that you can give some additional places where characters should be farmable.
Now, do you think that it took a long time to make these two hard campaign nodes, or they've had it made for a long time, which is why it's so easy, in my opinion, and they're just like, all right, the community is pissed off. Let's give them more characters here, or maybe they tried to implement it before and they broke the game totally, and they're like, oh shoot, we have to fix our coding before we could even have these new campaigns in there. What do you think happened with this, or was it like you initially said? They just took a long time to make all this stuff.
Yeah, I think it took a long time to make it. To me, this seems very copy and paste, especially with the difficulty level of the characters. It's not challenging or hard at all. And of course, if the storyline is not really adding up to be anything, they didn't really put a lot of time into it as well. So I think, in my opinion, I think this is more reactionary. There were a lot of blog posts on Reddit that talked about character farmability issues, and players were getting upset about it. And I think they kind of thought, we as some of us as the envoys, message them. I know that I talked to them about coming up with an actual character farmability cadence, where character gets released X and then character gets farmable within 2-3 months at XYZ place, right? So I think they just this is more reactionary to players sort of being frustrated with the farmability access of characters. I think that's this is just a way to react to it and get something out there so that they can put characters in places where they need to be in the future.
Yeah. Now, as far as the difficulty of all this, now, Goofy, I know we talked beforehand, you did not do the villain's difficulty at all. Why is that? You do not want to farm Cersei? Or like, I could beat this game without Cersei in this. So why did you not farm this last night?
Honestly, I just ran out of time, man. I'm sorry. You heard my schedule these days and what it looks like over the past 2 weeks. Like, I honestly just forgot. And this is like really easily audible content for me to do. So I'm actually probably going to do it right after our video here, just to be able to get it done with, because I also didn't have campaign energy last night too. So there's another thing too, where I was like, you know what, I'll just wait until the next day where I do have some more campaign energy.
For the event. That is potentially 2 Cersei shards that you're missing out on by not doing it yesterday, though.
And the thing about it is, like, I'm actually not far away from I think I'm like 60 shards away from getting her to 7 stars. So there's definitely a desire to farm her, but yeah, oversight on my part, guys. Forgive me.
Now, as far as the difficulty, even mid-game players, people's alt accounts on the chat this morning were saying, yeah, it's pretty easy. So is this something very friendly for newer and mid-game players, especially when we take a look at the selection of characters? When we look back on these heroes, we have a skill character there for the raids. Hela just got a rework. We also have Wong, very important character for Darkhold. Emma, who's kind of doesn't really fit on a solid team, but she kind of fits on many teams. So that's kind of even better than being on one cookie cutter team. And then we look at the villains campaigns here. Cersei obviously is great for new characters. We have one of the key mystic new warriors here. We have another secret Avenger there. And then we have the team that is currently the arena meta raid, or excuse me, the raid meta mutants teams. but they're going to be falling off as soon as Deathseed comes into the game. So as far as use right now, though, there's some pretty good selections of these characters. What did you think of the character selection and hearing about the difficulty as far as these nodes for newer and mid-game players?
Yeah, so in terms of the characters, there's only a few that are important, like Cloak and Dagger. Cloak, but the New Warriors team, not really a sought after team anymore because of where the Doom raids are right now, where Mystic characters are, what Mystic characters are important. And when you add in characters like Wong in the Heroes campaign, it kind of brings the value down a little bit more of needing to get characters like Cloak. Like I said, I just looked at some of these characters as, hey, this is a very nice sort of placeholder for future characters that we actually need. I'm hoping they're going to flip this and put important characters there pretty soon. And then difficulty-wise, it's not that challenging. The only difficult portion of it is that you have to get to level 75. So it's more for mid-game players than it is for earlier players.
Good point on that.
At the same time, when earlier players do finally get to that level 75, you don't have to have G14 characters in order to be able to get through it. Your tier 12 is going to be fine to be able to run through a lot of these nodes.
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about a 89k Ultron. I'm like, that used to be challenging.
Yeah.
When like level 60, you're level 65. But yeah, by the time they get to level 75, an 89k Ultron shouldn't be that challenging for them.
Right.
Now, these new nodes, they did come with some bug fixes. One that was very, very player friendly that I'm not happy about, but on the hard node that featured Wong in it, the Heroes campaign node, previous to these bug fixes, we were able to farm Wong on Heroes 1-3, 10 times. Now, when we go in game, can only farm them 5 times. Remaining attempts 0 out of 5. I don't know if you're covering it there. Yeah, you're kind of covering it, but yeah, not farmable 10 times. Only farmable 5 times. Other bugs that they fixed. Some mission contains some unnecessary story elements as operators. I don't remember any of those. I just fully autoed this. And I don't think that would be too much of a problem with that. Some enemies spawn with debuffs or other unintended effects. Yeah, again. Maybe mid-game players struggling through this, but I know at least for the hard nodes and the heroes and the villains, I autoed all those. And there's some other things that were updated on, some visual things, some other little bugs that were corrected and was launched. So what do you think of these bug fixes? And do you think they should have just left Wong as is?
So unpopular opinion, but no, I don't think they should have left Wong the way it is. It's supposed to be 5. Every other character is 5. Leave it at 5, right? The issue is the fact that it was a bug in the first place and that they didn't catch it before it went live, which is once again kind of reiterates the idea of they didn't really spend that much time on these nodes, right? They kind of just copied and pasted and just threw it out there and didn't check to make sure that it worked correctly. My thing is bugs should be fixed. When you let bugs persist for a long period of time, then you should leave it. But something like this, which was just recent, I think it's okay to fix it. It's an unpopular opinion, but it's something that should have been there in the first place.
I don't know, Goofy. 2 weeks they left it there. You're saying they should just leave it after a time. I think that's long enough for them to just leave it. I was actually, when it wasn't corrected in the first day or so, I was like, maybe this was intended. Maybe because he's a horseman and he was unfarmable for so long, maybe they left it. And then this horrible announcement last night that we can only farm him 5 times instead of 10. So I sort of agree with you that they should have corrected it very soon, but they didn't do it in the first days. I was just like, just leave it, screw it.
Yeah, two weeks is very fast for Boundless Entertainment. You have to understand now. That's fast.
To fix it in 2 weeks, I guess, right? We've been playing this game for a while. We should be used to quick fixes happening in a couple weeks, long fixes taking months and months and months, several updates.
Next patch.
I guess 2 weeks. I guess when you put it in Scopley terms, 2 weeks is very, very quick for them to fix it. But you know what they didn't fix, or I guess they didn't communicate on, is this thing right here, the Strike Salute Milestone Event. Very, very confusing. I did not read the initial blog post until after this came out because I was out of town. So yeah, this I guess the initial thing is it wasn't clear all these extra tokens that you're getting. People were upset that you wouldn't be able to do this player appreciation event without spending a ton of cores, spending a bunch of resources. But when this was announced on Monday, that we're getting some additional stuff with this that was not explained on the website. Tuesday they did another fix and they corrected even more things because we did not get the daily objective or the daily the inbox message. When you saw this event as it was initially announced, Goofy, what was your initial reaction to it? Because like I said, I didn't get that initial reaction. I saw all of it at once, so I didn't have that initial angry reaction like a lot of the community did. What were your thoughts when you first saw this?
Yeah, so the initial blog post on Friday, it didn't look like a very player-friendly event at all. And there's just too much activity going on. There are too many cores to be spent. It didn't really look very player-friendly at all. And then there was a response back, I think, on Reddit that I saw, and I think I included in a video from CM Archangel that broke down that you're going to be getting XYZ amount of tokens throughout the week. So you only need to spend X in terms of cores in order to be able to get it done. And then there was like okay, it's supposed to be daily objectives, and the daily objectives didn't go live. And then there was another blog post. So to me, it's just like, just do everything right all at once, right? That's kind of where I'm at, where just do the proper communication. This blog post that you're looking at right now is actually a pretty good one, where it breaks down the amount of math that you need to spend in terms of cores. Of course, this is actually really good. Like I really appreciated this, and I think that they should do this moving forward. It would of course it eliminates us as content creators sometimes being able to then make videos on the math of the event, but still I would much rather the entire player base actually have a picture as to what they need to do.
I just want stuff working, Goofy. Is that too much to ask? I just want stuff to work in this game.
Right. And I want things to be clear. I want things to be clear, communicated. So this created more confusion. Now, the event itself is actually really simple to do. If you're doing most of your activities throughout the day anyways, you're probably kind of walking through this event, right? You're not really doing much for it. So I think it's pretty good. And a lot of good me, it's like the gold is what I'm really excited about. The shards are helpful too, but the gold is like, I'm like, oof, I need gold.
I want the shards. I'll get a 6-star Weaver with this. I'm really happy. This does nothing, but it adds to the total.
Gets you closer.
Yeah, it gets you a little bit closer. So all this is good. Now, the other thing I wanted to discuss about the event, because I do think this is a good event. Maybe not the way it was initially communicated, but when I saw this and saw how much you're getting and saw how little you actually had to do to get like the important milestones to complete the whole thing of the strike salute and get all the major milestones as Commander Cash, I thought it was pretty friendly here. As you can see, we haven't even done our second war yet, and I'm almost at this ancient claw milestone. That is how friendly this is. Now, with this though, there is a leaderboard ranking, and there's some insane scores right here. And I don't know what to feel about this, because I would think, if we have these bad events and the devs are making all these errors, maybe they would change their ways and people would stop spending. But obviously with this, there's some insane spending because of these rank rewards for the 7-star Black Panther on the top 10. And in the top, the top 50 is 6-star Black Panther, top 1% getting a 5-star Black Panther. So with these ranking rewards and seeing all these crazy leaderboard scores, is this rank rewards incentive enough for you to push a little harder than you normally would in this event? Or you're like, you know what, that's all for the Kraken's whales. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna go and do what I normally do and not push extra hard for this event.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't initially do Kraken and whale off. Well, I guess I slightly whaled on Black. Listen, it's Wakandans, all right? Wakanda forever. I invested a little bit into getting Nakia and getting Black Panther 1mm, but I'm not spending hundreds of dollars for individual characters. So I'm not gonna push hard for an event because I'm probably not gonna get a 6. I'm not gonna get a 6 yellow or a 7 yellow. So why would I then push to try to get a 6 red or a 7 red? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So for me personally, this doesn't give me any sort of added incentive whatsoever. My biggest thing is getting to milestone 33, getting the boosted item for the Black Panther 1mm event. If I get extra stuff, all gravy, baby. That's nice. But no, I'm not going to push for it. I think this is definitely in my opinion, I think that there should be events that incentivize whales and krakens. It's just that in the context of the game where other things are not healthy, it feels bad sometimes when you have these events that push or cater towards a lot of whalage and krakenage. So I'm kind of in a mixed bag where that's concerned. There should still be a good amount of rewards though for players who are not whales or are not krakens. So I think for this event, I think it's actually okay.
I just gotta say, I like completing all the milestones. So events like this that they've shifted on, that you got to spend to complete this, instead of just having this as a separate offer for some of these. I don't need this stuff. All this stuff would be nice to get, but I'm not pushing for this stuff.
This is too much. Like this is really excessive, right? Like that's 80 million. That's an insane amount of gold. You're right. I think what they need to do is they need to go back to so previously, before, events were this way. You were able to complete them free to play, but then if you wanted to not do the activities for the events, then you were willing to, you could spend to be able to get through it. That's not what they're doing anymore. Yeah. And like the events where you have to spend to be able to complete it were one-off events. Now it's like every event that's like that, and that's not healthy for the game.
Yeah, so hopefully they shift, but this leaderboards make me think, they're probably not going to shift anything at all because people are still spending, and this is their plan. Scopley's plan is working. People are spending a lot on this. Now, one good thing is it's easier than initially thought to get this milestone 33, and that leads to this first Panther progress. I think when you get to milestone 32, you're able to unlock Black Panther 1mm, which is a good thing for the Nakia event, because in the patch notes they said for the Nakia event you would need WarDog characters to do that heroic difficulty. Now in the Nakia event, I guess you could unlock her. People were worried you would not be able to get Black Panther 1mm to do that heroic difficulty, but now it looks that with these events and getting to milestone 32 with these included shards here, you will be able to get that unlock for him and use them in the heroic difficulties. So how soon will free-to-play players able to go into that heroic because of this this changes that we've had to this month-long milestone for Black Panther and 1mm? Like, I guess my question is, how long is it going to take them to get their Nakia built so they could bring her into that event?
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. We don't have her event. We don't know when her event's going to go live. We assume it's probably going to be maybe Monday again.
We got DATAMINES though.
Yeah, so
Goofy, so we're going to talk about those.
We'll talk about that later. Yeah, but you're going to have to get Black Panther 1mm, then build up Black Panther 1mm. You're probably going to need a minimum of gear tier 14 on Black Panther 1mm. So this is the heroic difficulty of the campaigns are definitely in-game content. I don't really know how fast, depending on where you are for resources, what alliance you're in, what your allotment is per day. It may take a little while for you to be able to do it, which then is the second question of how much does that impact your farmability, right? Because then you can target those heroic difficulty nodes. You can get the shards from the heroic difficulty nodes. So that does slow down your progression in terms of being able to farm characters. So I personally still don't like that they've gone in this direction. I think it also can potentially set a bad precedent for future character releases. And that is a little bit of my concern. Is it possible? Sure. How long will it take? It could take you a week. It could take you 3 days. There is a commander. How long is the Commander Caches event going to last for? Right? We have a couple more days.
We got 4 more days of it, so it's not even been. We're not even halfway through this thing.
So at least like if you unlock in between today and tomorrow, then you can spend some gold and then get some progress toward the Commander Caches event, right? By trying to build them up. I mean, that's the one probably maybe silver lining in this. And, another thing that we're not talking about, which is a little off topic here, we got 5,000 cores or 6,000 cores or 1,000 cores not too long ago, right? From some of the things that they've done, and then recently a lot of these events now kind of require cores, so that also kind of feels a little bad as well with some of these events.
That's planned. Yeah. Now my counter argument to you is the Zombie Iron Man event.
Yeah,
everybody was like, "Oh, this is a trash event. It is horrible. This is a." Other than him requiring dark promo credits, I don't think that character event was that bad. And like I said, other than dark promo credits, the release wasn't that bad either. It's not that different than other things. So if the Zombie Iron Man event wasn't as bad as we all thought, do you think the Nakia event is going to be not as bad as everybody thinks with that WarDog getting to that heroic difficulty? Because I got in pretty quick to that Zombie Iron Man harder difficulty, the heroic difficulty.
Yeah,
I did get some good drops, by the way, as well, but they got in pretty quick.
Yeah, so it would be based on the difficulty level of the campaign nodes themselves, right? Like the heroic difficulty. That's what maybe those are easier, and maybe they're accounting for the fact that a lot of players won't be able to build up Nakia and then build up Black Panther 1mm as quickly. Maybe that could be the case. It's still, we'll have to see, right? We're not entirely sure on that as of yet. Now, Zombie Iron Man, while the event itself wasn't bad, I still think prior communication in regards to there's better communication in regards to what's happening with Nakia's event, sort of, than there was with Zombie Iron Man, because I
don't remember any communication other than what we saw in the patch notes that said they require WarDogs. Am I missing something?
At least we know that, right? Zombie Iron Man event.
Okay, just that little bit is more. I guess that's true. Okay,
at least we had something, right? Right. Zombie Iron Man, we were like, oh, dark promo credits. Oh, snap! We didn't know that.
All right, so we'll see what the event was, but at least it looks like you could unlock Black Panther 1mm before the event starts. So that is a good thing. What you want to do with that, that's up to you. But at least you could unlock him, and then you could make the choice if you want to do that event or save your resources for something else. Let's talk about this team, though, this WarDog team. Obviously, they're very good in war. Have you tested them in war so far?
Yeah, I've tested them in war. I have a video up on the channel about it too. They're pretty strong, right? I use them. So teams that I've been able to use them against so far and beat successfully and consistently: Heroes for Hire, Young Avengers, Hero as Guardians. They can be Dormhold, but you have to sort of have even power, or it's close to even.
Okay.
It's a slight punch up a little bit you can do. Which
have you tried Gamma? Have you tried
I
Gamma?
have not tried. I've tried Gamma. It
should theoretically it should not work, because that's a horseman team. This is a non-horseman team. It should not beat Gamma.
It wasn't close. It was laughable how bad it was.
Well, that's good for the horseman team. That is good that these guys can beat everybody else. But I guess the big question is, they're supposed to be very good in war. Obviously not Gamma good, but pretty good in war.
Yeah.
How are they doing in Crucible? Well, I do have a screenshot here from one of my alliance mates here. Wow. They have a WarDog team punching across the tangled web, and this is I believe this is a 950, and we have Shuri, Black Panther, Emma, Okoye, and Black Panther 1mm punching pretty much across. I think it's a slight punch down. It's hard to see the numbers here, but we have Lady Deathstrike, Weaver, 2099, and the Dad Bros. Is that impressive to you? Because I think this is impressive. That's one of the harder teams to beat in Crucible. And if this team is capable of that, even without Nakia, that might be worth the investment. What do you think of these results, and what are you hearing about their viability in Cosmic Crucible?
Yeah, so for Cosmic, that's actually a pretty good win, I would say. I don't know if I'm like overly impressed, but yeah, I mean that's a pretty strong.
I suspect them to do nothing, so that's just because they could do that. That's really good. And
to be fair, that Shatterstar long shot combo could go wrong depending on who gets targeted. If Spider Weaver targets the wrong, if she gets her stun off, stuns the wrong character, it could get really dicey. So it actually is impressive. But the Wakandans, the WarDogs, they are so fast that I do think that you gain the upper advantage. And then you also had Emma that slowed them down too, right? And then it also really sped you up. I think that matchup, if I'm looking at it the right way, that was really probably all based on Black Panther, right? Like, he is a monster.
Yes. So he did say that you do need, you need to have a very big Black Panther, like 6 or 7 red stars on this. As you can see, this Black Panther is 220K. So you do need a big Black Panther, but I still think that's pretty impressive. Makes me want to go out and build Black Panther.
Yeah, I've like I said, this is my passion project team. I've had a lot of fun with them so far. I have not tried them against Tangled Web. I usually just use this team against Axemen, because Axemen is really annoying now in Cosmic Crucible. So you're
saving the rest of the Wakandans, the version with Killmonger and M'Baku for
so I don't use it. I use Yeah, my Gear Tour 12 in Baku doesn't really do much. It's basically sliding in Black Panther 1mm, but it's hard to replace Killmonger because that ultimate, that rebound chain, it's too good. It's too good to get rid of. It just does so much damage, so it's hard to kind of replace Killmonger there. But Black Panther 1mm actually helps out a lot with like just getting those initial early buffs, and then once Okoye and Black Panther get going, it's game over.
Yeah, this is very, very good team. So I'm curious to see what they could do if Nakia makes a difference on that team. What other characters they're able to take out in Cosmic Crucibles. So very, very interested to see what other results. And if you guys have some screenshots, let me know in the Discord. The link for Discord is down below. Let's talk about the next character that I have no idea what is happening with this character, but Mr. Negative. This was a character that was released last patch. No event for this character. No word on an event for this character. There was a deleted Reddit message from Archangel that said that don't believe all the data mines, which suggested he was a pay-only character, which at this point seems to be true. The only way to get him, to unlock him, was to get his initial offer. So where is Mr. Negative, and why do you think it's been delayed for so long? Did they just forget that there was an event, or was this part of some master level marketing strategy that they're trying?
Something happened somewhere. Somebody dropped the ball. Something happened.
What?
Where I don't.
This is a Scopley game, Goofy. Don't tell me that is possible here. Did somebody drop the ball in this game?
Yeah, I think somebody dropped the ball somewhere. I don't really understand and it's sort of kind of, they're losing a little bit of hype with Mr. Negative, right? Like, and I've clearly people have shown that Kingpin, Taskmaster is a monster on the Underworld team. They're kind of, a lot of players probably don't feel that there's a need to really invest into Mr. Negative, and I've faced Mr. Negative and like Cosmic Crucible. I typically try to avoid them in Alliance War unless I'm using certain teams, but because they really are that good on war defense. However, I don't know what's when I initially thought that maybe he was going to be like a month-long event character, but that looks different now based on what we've seen so far with some of the data mines. But what kind of event are they going to do for him now? There's been no data mines on anything other than him just being a web store release.
Yeah, the everything as far as the comment said, it's going to be related to the web store. Now that comment was deleted. We mention it all the time. It could mean that information changed. It could mean that there was that information was super accurate and they didn't want that out. But they did say that the comment that Archangel said was it's supposed to be related to the web store. Well, we'll see what happens with that. Now you talked about killing the interest of the character. Do you think that this kind of strategy or their forgetfulness is kind of just made people not interested in Mr. Negative? And if he is going to be required for Apocalypse, do you think that they would announce that before his event that may or may not be related to the web store?
Yeah, so it's been their practice that usually any character that's been a part of Apocalypse, they usually announce that ahead of time. Now, our only sample size really is Spider-Weaver. She's the only strike character that we know about, but they have at least let us know with the other Apocalypse Horseman teams that hey, these are teams that you're going to need to be able to unlock them. So maybe potentially Mr. Negative could be a strike character. I just don't believe that he is because of the Mystic gear. I don't think they're going to double down on that again. So I don't think that he's one of the characters. I think honestly, like I said, something happened somewhere where they had to prioritize another character release, and they just decided that, okay, well, or maybe they saw our feedback based on the data mines and said, okay, well, we probably can't do this and maybe we need to change it up now. I don't know. To me, this is a really weird scenario that I don't really fully understand what they're doing. And like I said, I think it's killing the hype of the character. I don't think anybody cares about Mr. Negative. There's been other players who have tested Mr. Negative. We don't see that he does anything spectacular. So really, there's no desire to try to get a character like this. Even whenever they do release him, I think a lot of players are just like, okay, we get what we get and we move on.
Yeah, as you can see, I started investing in him. I started building him for war, and it's like, I don't know where his event is. Where am I going to get the shards? When is he going to become viable? So I just kind of stopped and did that. So, hopefully this is not some master level plan that they're trying, because I think you're right. They're killing the interest of the character, and hopefully they don't make him required for Scourge, for Apocalypse Unlocked. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with this character. Yeah. All right. We had a Pestilence Scourge event return. This is the 4th time it returned. How did you do on this, Goofy?
I made it to the end of the event.
Did you get your 1.5 million?
No, absolutely not. I did 1.2 million and said, I just did a difficulty 8 run. I didn't feel like equipping any Scourges. I just had no desire to do it. Once you get 7 stars, it's like,
Gotcha. Now, was it worth the time invested for the resources that you got for the Pestilence Scourge event to get that 1.5 million score?
As Mobile said, free stuff is free stuff, so I'll take it and I'll move on.
It's not totally free. You gotta spend a lot of time to do that.
I mean, it took me probably all of 20 minutes in order to be able to get through it. But I mean, I get what you're saying. The time investment is definitely there. Curious though, like where did you land for this event?
I also did not get 1.5 million. I was actually putting it off. And then I traveled to Vegas for Mobile Gamer's wedding and totally forgot about it. So I scored 0 on this event. I was planning to do this on like Friday right before it ended. And now that you're saying it only took you 20 minutes, I'm like, actually, I don't know if I had 20 minutes, but still, I didn't get to do any of it because I just kept putting it off, playing Marvel Snap, and it's like, oh shoot, I'm out of time. It's gone. The event is gone. I don't have anything to do. So I scored 0. I didn't get that 1.5 million, but I plan to do it next time it comes around again. Maybe just autoing, taking some big teams in or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where like this is the 4th time doing it now, so it's like you kind of know what works and what doesn't work, and I just kind of went in there. The only actually maybe it wasn't 20 minutes, maybe it was like 30 minutes because Node 5 again.
Well, I'm glad that I didn't do it then. 30 minutes, that's a big difference.
I reset I think 3 times on Node 5, and then I was like, you know what, F this. I forgot we have a big Dark Hunters team, so we'll just go in Node 10 and use them to kill off whoever first, and then we'll finish up with Web Warriors. And I was like, you know what, maybe I overthought this. Maybe I could have only took 25 or 20 minutes to do it, but I was overthinking Node 5 so many times. But like I said, free stuff, whatever, you kind of move on. There's no high incentive anymore to do it after you get 7 stars.
Nah, they got the big stars on Morgan Le Fay. That's the big prize. Everything else is just kind of cool.
It's nice to have it. It's just, but it's also not necessary for you to do it,
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the next team coming, the next Scourge team coming, and that is these guys, the Deathseed team, Dark Beast, Magneto, Psylocke. We know Archangel, we don't know his kit, and we don't know the last member. Now, we were talking about this beforehand, but our guess is, who do you think will be the last member of this team? And you were saying something about a Envoy call that I did not listen to, that one of the devs said something about this. What did the devs say about this, Goofy?
Yeah, so my understanding is that they mentioned, so one of the, I love Nightcrawler, right? And I think that he would be a great character to be added to this team, but they didn't say flat out, hey, it's not going to be Nightcrawler. But what they did say is that it's going to be a character that no one expects, but you should still
so it's not who we think.
It's not who we think it's going to be.
It's Madison.
Madison?
Madison from She-Hulk.
Madison with 2 N's and 1 Y, but it's not where you think it is.
Yes, she is the last member of Deathseed. The standard additional blog post makes no sense. It has no canon to comics. It has to be Madison. All right, but I actually have a real guess. Then you have some real guesses as well. You looked it up, and we were kind of, our guesses were kind of related to the Apocalypse saga, because we were looking at what is Deathseed in the Marvel universe, and you were telling me that has something related to Apocalypse. So I was like, all right, it has to be another Horseman. So I want to get your guess first, and I'll tell you who my guess is.
Yeah. So
not Madison.
So not Madison. So honestly, what I was thinking about. So this was something that was mentioned before, right? So Captain Britain. So Elizabeth Braddock.
Yes.
There's a possibility now. I don't know exactly how this would work. She is a telepath. This team needs a support character, right? Somebody that
the female version of Psylocke, the other Captain Britain, because her brother is also Captain Britain.
That is correct. The other Captain Britain, Elizabeth Braddock, and I'm like, maybe it's potentially her, the captain, because they mentioned Captain. I think there was a rumor out that Captain Britain may be the next character. So
maybe on an Excalibur team, but this has some of the similar members to that.
So maybe it might be that we're getting the female version of Captain Britain, and she's going to be a support character because this team does need healing because they currently don't have any healers right now, based on what I understand. So unless Archangel is a healer, which I don't think a lot of us expect that to be the case. So I think maybe it could be Elizabeth Braddock. The only other character I thought about potentially, and this is maybe because I just want to see the character in the game, is Caliban. I really actually like Caliban quite a bit, but that's just more of a personal kind of favorite thing.
All right, I went another route with my guess. We have Dark Beast here. Yeah. All right, and I think that Captain Britain, either the Betsy Braddock version or the Bran Braddock version, either one, I think would be good choices just because of some of the other rumors that we've had. But we've had Dark Beast in the game. This is our second Beast in the game. Yeah. What about another Wolverine? Daken. Wolverine's son, Logan's son, Daken. He was deaf in the comics. That's kind of where my head is leaning, because if it's not Nightcrawler, it's not someone who we suspect. Yeah, Daken would be kind of a weird version of Wolverine, along with a weird version of Dark Beast. But you know, another Psylocke in there would also make sense as well. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments who you guys are thinking this last member would be, and if the devs are correct, it is not who we think. Oh, and before we move on from Deathseed, how many broken scourges will be in this next Death Scourge coming up? The over-under right now is 3. Are you going to take the over or the under, or exactly 3?
I'm gonna honestly go with over. I feel like
over 3 broken scourges. Okay.
Yeah, because I think for this last scourge, they are because Apocalypse is not getting a scourge, he's just getting the saga, right? So I think for this last scourge, they're gonna try to mix it up quite a bit and give you some different. And Archangel is the most popular horseman, right? So they're probably gonna switch it up a little bit on us. And I feel like that's going to be to their own demise. So I definitely think it's going to be over 3.
It's a very fragile code, Goofy. You can't blame them. You can't blame them because it's a fragile framework that anything they do breaks on it. And, you know, after these 4 years, they still never went back and fixed the stuff. All right.
It's very challenging.
It is. They're working very hard on all their game jams and their month-long breaks, actually 2 month-long breaks during December and January. So yeah, they got a lot of stuff to do, Goofy, including this Nakia event that we were talking about earlier. Now, this is a data mine about it. There's the easy difficulty, hard difficulty, heroic difficulty, which does confirm what we saw in the patch notes here. Requires Nakia and WarDogs. The heroic difficulty, the hard difficulty just requires Nakia. So after recruiting her, you could attempt this, which is weird. I guess if you didn't buy her, you would have to go through the easy route to recruit her, then go to the hard route and get even more shards for her, and then you could go with the heroic difficulty. This doesn't make sense to me. What are you making of this, Goofy?
Yeah, if you saw me fumbling over when you asked me about Black Panther 1mm earlier in Nakia, I was fumbling because I'm like, you're going to talk about this later on. I don't want to give too much information, but this looks like what you just mentioned out is kind of what this looks like, right? Like if you didn't get her, you kind of have to go through easy first and then try to farm get shards for her and then go hard
or maybe just go right from easy to heroic.
Easy to heroic after getting her. It's just like
who designed this? Who designed this?
Why are we like how long is this event going to be? 21 days?
So dumb.
Is it going to be a 21-day event camp? If honestly, the only way I feel like this makes sense is if it's like a 21-day event campaign. You're stretching out the period of time, but it also does create some unfair advantage to those who already have Nakia, who already bought them already. It's like
All right, these are data mines.
Why?
These are data mines,
right?
And it doesn't have all the information. These are all something to change. We'll see. Zombie Iron Man wasn't as bad as we thought. Maybe they'll make some changes and before these go live. Although usually when data mines are in here, usually they are going live very soon. The other part of this event, you're gonna get this razor sharp claws from her event. And you get the geared resources, vibranium meteorite, so all towards that Black Panther progress. But here's what you're also going to get: a 5 red star Black Panther, which is going to help in Cosmic Crucible. So
nice.
You're going to get a 5 red star Okoye in the event going on right now, 5 red star Black Panther, and then possibly, depending on how you do on the other event, you could get a 5 red star 1 Black Panther. So a lot of red stars for Wakandans going around.
I think that's good. I think these are some pretty good rewards here. I mean, the only thing that we would want is gold, right? So I think these are pretty good rewards. The 5 red star Black Panther, great for players who don't already have red stars on Black Panther or who are just recruiting him. I like it. That's a good way to go. Of course, us endgame players, we would want red stars for newer characters, but we already have an event that you can get 5 red stars on a newer character, right? So I think this is good for some earlier players.
This is good. The only thing, and it looks like this is going to be one that during this initial 7 days, spending a lot of cores. So there goes those 5,000 cores and 1,000 cores that we got for free. Spend it on these events. More core spending that you have to do. And so normally what they've done with these events, they run it for 7 days and then they do an initial or an extended 3 to 7 days of the actual campaign. So it looks like we're getting these spy game milestones first. Or in the first part of those in the event, and then who knows how long the event's gonna last after that. So could be good, could be bad. We need to find out more information on this, more the numbers to see if this is as bad as people are thinking or better than people are thinking.
I'm hoping it's better, but it doesn't look great on paper right now.
It looks very unfriendly at this point. So I'll hold off judgment until we get more information. All right, next thing we have coming is this Claws of Fury event. And this is for the Namor costume and more First Panther progress. The big thing here is this heart-shaped herb. That is 100,000 points towards your Black Panther progress, the 1 progress. So this is a big one, this heart-shaped herb. You're also gonna get silver bits to purchase Namor's costume. How valuable is Namor's costume gonna be? Do you use him at all in Marvel Strike Force?
I don't use them at all. So I mean, the Namor costume it would be nice to get it. If I can get it free to play, I'll equip it, but I'll have to like play him in Blitz in order to be.
I mean, once in a while with your A-Force, you still can counter Young Avengers if you're punching across. You don't have, and you want to save your Doom for another team. So not the worst, but I don't know if I'm gonna ever see this costume unless I go to my character screen.
Yeah. There's been a couple of those, right? There've been a couple of really nice costumes, but you just don't get to really see the characters. Like even like the Magic costume is really cool, but I just threw my Uncanny on defense in Alliance War, and they're on defense for me too in Cosmic Crucible. So now I don't get to see this much anymore, or I won't get to see it much.
Now for this event, it looks like you're gonna have to do some war battles and get some daily claims on their website. And it says collect power cores to rack up points. Maybe you need to spend power cores, or maybe it's purchasing power cores. I'm not sure, but this one again could be bad or good depending on the numbers. One of
the things I would suggest is maybe saving your arena rewards. So and don't claim those.
Gotcha. That is a good point. That's a really good point, Goofy. Yeah, don't claim your arena rewards. At least, well, maybe right now you can, but when this is announced, start saving them.
Exactly. When that's announced,
actually, you know what?
Start saving them.
Leave everything in your inbox until right before it's about to expire. All your raid rewards, your war rewards, everything. Just start leaving your inbox because. Even though the devs at one point said they don't want to encourage hoarding, all these recent events are encouraging hoarding, and I did not get
Marvel Horde Force.
Marvel Horde Force. I didn't get one of the events because I didn't hoard enough raid rewards there. All right, last but not least, it looks like this is the information on our next character coming, and that is Dark Beast. It looks like he's going to be recruited to the Abominable Beast event. Now, when we're looking at the information for the Black Panther event, the first Panther event in the event schedule, we see the events here. Contagion Corpse, Commander's Cash, both of which are either going on or are done. Spy Games, that's the one for Nakia. Claws of Fury, that's the one for the Namor outfit.
Namor outfit, yep.
And that huge heart-shaped herb. Nothing about Abominable Beast events, so this leads me to think that this is gonna be the next month-long milestone character, which pushes it out even further for people that want to get this Deathseed team up and running to give some ease in the mutant lanes. Is this what do you suspect for this? Is this going to be around the same as Black Panther 1mm? Are they going to make it a little better, make it a little worse? And how soon will we be able to unlock Dark Beast? It is now the 17th of November. The milestone started a little late, so midway through the month unlocking Dark Beast, or something later than that.
Yeah, I'm probably thinking it's gonna be same midway through the event unlocking Dark Beast. I'm actually okay with this if it's just gonna be something that's gonna last towards the end, even if he's the month-long character, I'm actually okay with that. Okay. Especially how many more days do we have for Nakia's Red Stars? This can be pushed out to where we don't have another offer.
We have no idea, really. Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, so
they don't have a time ending on that.
Yeah, so her Red Star, I don't know when that's going to end, but at least if this is going to be the next month-long character, maybe we have a week or a couple of days where we can actually open up our basic Red Stars and start to get some dark promo credit. So if this pushes it out to the next month-long event, I'm actually fine and okay with that, because that may also mean that the offers for Dark Beast and the boosted Red Stars for him are actually going to be a little bit later on as well. So I'm actually okay with it.
All right, yeah, give us more time to collect and get more Red Stars, saving up for Dark Beast. All right, so those are the DATAMINES. Let me know what is your favorite event coming up, or the one you're looking forward to the most coming up, as we discuss the hot movie in theaters right now, Wakanda Forever. Unfortunately, I was out of town. I did not see this, so I'm going to let you do all the discussion. But no spoilers, so this is gonna be a spoiler-free discussion about this movie. I'm just gonna let you discuss this because I didn't see it. So, what was your thoughts on Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
Yeah, so I thought this was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed it. There were some different and some interesting takes on what they did. I think also it's impressive. Being the loss of Chadwick, also COVID, and I think Tisha, right, she had gotten injured. Like, it's actually pretty, like, when you think about all that in context, what they were able to pull together was pretty good. Namor is really dope. Really dope. Really dope. Really dope actor. I like the exploration of a little bit of the heritage.
Maybe I have to bring him up in Marvel Strike Force just so I can play with that costume.
just for the funsies of it, right? I will say though, there were definitely some moments where you could feel that the presence of Chadwick just being able to carry the kingship of just to be able to, that presence was missing. There were some moments where you're like, oh, this needed a strong presence right here. And there were moments where you could definitely feel that it was missing. But I think overall the story was pretty good. You're going to feel the emotion for sure from a lot of the characters. And I will say Riri Ironheart, pretty cool. Pretty cool character.
Oh, I forgot that she's in the movie too. Yeah, my kids saw it. They really loved it. So I'm looking forward to seeing. Hopefully we could do that this weekend. Now, where do you think this rates in comparison to some other Phase 4 movies like Shang-Chi? Or is this the last one in Phase 4, or is this the first one in 4? Okay, so where does this compare to other movies like Shang-Chi, Eternals, what else? Thor: Love and Thunder, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. Where does this rate for you in terms of those movies?
I think it's probably number 2, because I got to put the Spider-Man movie, right? I think that was the first movie of Phase 4, right? The Spider-Man movie.
I think Eternals might have been the first. Oh wait, was Spider-Man before that or after that?
I think Spider-Man was right before.
Spider-Man, yeah, that was. So that was. You're right. That was the first one.
So
I
to me,
was thinking the
that's
Doctor Strange.
That's number one. Like that's the best movie of this phase so far.
That was a good one.
Question.
Yes.
And I would say for me, I really enjoyed Shang-Chi. I'll probably put that as number 2, but this I think takes over as being number 2 for me. Now this is more of sort of like an emotional connection thing. So that's probably the reason why I'm putting it as number 2. But look at it just like cinematically and from a movie development character sort of continuation. The gripping moments, I think it was really good. Like I said, I felt like it could have been great, but that's not necessarily their fault. You kind of lost a massive presence. So I think for what they did, I think that this puts it at number 2, but I do think that some people may potentially like Shang-Chi better too.
I was hearing the director talk about some of the initial scripts that they had before they knew Chadwick was passing away, and those seemed pretty interesting. I wish he was still alive. Could get a different movie. But I mean, everything I'm hearing is very, very positive about this movie.
One thing I'll say
most everything.
This is not a spoiler. Well, like maybe it is.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it, Goofy. I'm not
but I think this is actually going to be good for every viewer. There is no end credit scene. It's just a mid credit scene. So just save yourself some time. Save yourself some time there. It's just a mid credit scene this time.
That is helpful. That is helpful. Yeah. All right. So that is it. We've talked about a lot. There was a lot that went on in the game, outside of the game. A lot more data mines than real activity going on this week. What are your final thoughts about Marvel Strike Force before we get out of here, brother?
Yeah, so MSF, it's in such a weird place right now. I think that there is a lot that they could do, but I think we say this all the time, right? There is a lot to be desired when it comes to this game. There's still some really nice little elements. But I do think that, some things that give me a little bit of positive hope is getting some of these new nodes. I think character farmability is a big major issue in MSF. I do like this new blog post where it actually details out math of what you need to do in order to be able to get the event done.
Yeah.
I think if certain things like that can be done and be done more consistently, I think that your game would be in a much better place. And also change these events, man, so where it's actually free to play completable and whales and krakens can spend to complete
from a psychological standpoint. That is so important. That point you just mentioned from the player's perspective, that makes me happy. I'm like, oh, I like this game. Like, instead of, oh, I can't complete all these milestones. I got some of the stuff that kind of sucks. So I think they're going the wrong direction with this.
Exactly. Yep. So, for sure.
But I'm not as upset at the game that I was about a week ago. So I guess it's moving in a positive direction. So.
Yeah, no, seriously, these 2 events were huge, right? These 2 events were pretty big. They're good events. The salute one is good. The commander cache, a little disheartening that you can't complete it, but pretty good rewards and not. I think also what changes our perspective, it's not blitz heavy.
That's another thing. I haven't blitzed a lot this past week, and I'm enjoying Marvel Strike Force a lot more. Yeah, so stop with the blitzing. The blitzing freaking sucks. It's so dumb. It's really so dumb. At this point in the game, when you have other fun modes like Crucible and things like that, we don't need to blitz. It's so dumb. Right. Just clicking buttons. All right. Anything you got coming up, Goofy, that you want to promote before we are done?
No, I mean, roster review video. So with Dorky Dad, I don't want to, I know it's your channel, but Dorky Dad, we're going to be doing a roster review video similar to what you and Mobile Gamer do. So come check that out. Probably tomorrow.
So 2 different rosters.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, links to his channel will be down below, guys. Make sure you give him a subscribe. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for this channel. We have at least 5 Marvel gaming videos per week, including Marvel Strike Force and Marvel Snap. I do need to do a better job of getting Snap content out there, but hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hit that notification bell so you know as soon as a new video goes up. Thank you guys for watching. Check out some of the sponsors down below. TeePublic, you get some awesome merch. Amazon Coins is where you can save up to 20% off all your in-game purchases if it's available in your region. And have a great rest of your day, guys. You ready for that Hulk fist bump, Goofy?
Let's give it to him.
Let's do it. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin, GoofyRhexxi, out. Have a great one, guys.